Champions! I have a special treat for you guys today. It is a tour of the Kuzopa Nikiwa Temple. So this is a space that I built a 3D model for to help me plan out scenes in an upcoming comic page, or pages rather. And I wanted to kind of share with you the thought process behind developing the space and the model itself. So I will do a walkthrough with you guys after showing you some of the concept sketches that I did in the process of developing this location. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions about this particular landmark, let me know, because it's always fun for me to world build geek out a bit with you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. First, I was trying to think about what would make sense for this temple. What things are associated with Nikiwa? Wind is the major thing, air, woodwinds. I also tried to think about what materials might be used, what shapes might be used, spirals, archways, things that relate back to either the animal itself or the location where Nikiwa's power was centered. So I tried to think about how things would be laid out to sort of mimic those particular aesthetics, and really think about also the purpose of this location, which is about worshiping the spirit and celebrating the soul, but also in modern day about getting good luck and charms in order to get the wind to blow your way. So once I had thought about all the different pieces that might go into it and the aesthetic that I was trying to shoot for, that is when I began to make my model. So we start with a view that would be street level, and come in through the gates. There's a front and a back gate, and this is the center courtyard. And there are two kind of side areas that would be immediately to your right and your left, right after you enter this region. So this one to the right has kind of a sort of a purification area, and also a wishing area. And then there's these buildings to the side which are reserved for meditation or for preparation of different ceremonies. And then if we turn to look towards the left side, kind of go through this little gate here and through the gate to the next side. All these plots to the right would be reserved for a private garden, and then this small building is actually the priest or priest's home in the compound area. So the center features sort of lanterns, and a lot of the lanterns and fixtures have kind of this ram's head or goat's head sort of incorporated into a lot of the imagery. You can actually see it right there on the column as well. And sort of that spiral motif of the horns is common throughout the design. You can also see it in the roof, the horn curl, which is repeated, and the columns themselves would also have spirals on them to sort of mimic that ram's horn. So if we were going to go through the gate, again you can kind of see that same goat head motif reflected in a lot of the design and the horns and the little ears. But if you were to go through one of these gates, there is a station for sort of a good luck station and a sort of a token station where you could purchase a ribbon to tie for sort of good luck charm. And then both sides lead into this path, which is a massive spiral. And you can see on the side there they'd be wooden dowels, and they'd probably be painted with spirals, although not always. And then each one of them has its own ribbon that would be tied onto it. I'm trying to kind of take the route that a person would take were they taking this path. It's in part meant as a meditation. You could skip to the first set of stairs, but the whole point is to kind of go through this experience, because all of these dowels, all of these prayer sticks are good wishes for the dead. Because originally Nikiwa was not sort of the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky, good luck kind of figure that he is today. Originally he was the guardian of dead souls. So you would go through this kind of meditative path to sort of remember the dead. And when you reach the top here, you would go around the path in a circle around this central point and sort of return downwards and return down that original spiral. So that's kind of the point of both mounds, is there's no bodies that are stored here, because Jumupru is in charge of the dead physical being, but the spiritual being is controlled by Nikiwa. So that would be the whole point of visiting the temple, is to celebrate the spirit of the dead. So we can see there's actually a back entrance as well to this particular temple. There's no consistent design requirement for that. And if we zoom out and really get above the area, you can actually see the two horns of the ram represented in those two burial mounds. This concludes our tour of the Nikiwa Temple. If you have any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for joining me on this little trip through a cultural spot from my story in this fantasy world. And I look forward to talking with you guys more in my next weekly vlog. Until then, have a great week.